Alrighty. Doc here. TGIM. I am? No, it's not Monday. It's Friday. TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. It's the weekend. Woohoo! All right. What do we got going on today? You can see right there we got the dollar index. You can see it kind of stalled, down a little bit again. Trading a little underneath the 104 or right at the 104. Let's see. Let me just double check the chat line. I didn't see anything so far about yesterday's webinar. Just double checking it again now to make sure there was nothing on the chat line there. No, don't see anything on the chat line so far. Okay, that's fine. So just landed, just like a attaboy. Doc did good. Yay! That's about it. All right. So we're at the dollar index. Interest rates are, I would say that they're moving in the right direction for pairs trades to be stronger against the dollar. That's for sure. We don't have a lot of excitement. There's not a super amount of excitement over it all, but one thing is for sure is that the product line, the interest rates are, they're moving down in a soft way. Robin said he'll be right back. Good morning, Robin. All right, he'll be right back. And so you can see, we're in a weekly sell for a fourth week on the new beta Chicago Quant platform. Right there. You can see there. A fourth week, heading for a fifth. You can see we're 3 days in a sell. And we're kind of towards the lows of the last 3 days, too. Just hanging out down there. Let's just show you what it looks like over on the platform we use at the moment. Right there. And as you can see, same situation. We're in a weekly sell. Right there for 3 full weeks. And starting to match up to our beta. And at the same time, you can see for a bunch of days now, going on a third day. Well, look at this. It's trying to lift up here on the algorithm. It's trying to lift, and we're getting that same action on the beta. I'm going to make this larger so you can actually see it like that. And you can see it's just on the edge. Look at it. So, it's so thick. The line right there. It's just minus. It's on the edge, and on the other platform, it's trying to break through, but we got a red dot, so it's doing the same thing. And you can see here on J4X, same situation. Red, red, red for 4 days, and the fast is at 17.7, and the slow is at 20.1. So, that pressure is there also just on the edges. And, the dollar has been very interesting in the sense that it's, holding on very well. And, there'll probably be another leg. One thing that we were saying is that, and let me just throw interest rates up on there too. Let's see. Oh, there's the mountaintop on, what is that? That's the dollar index. And let's take a look at the bond right there. And there's the bond. You can see it's moving up. When this moves up, interest rates are dropping. So from here to there, interest rates dropped. And you can see here it's holding in its buy. It's in the second week of its weekly buy. So interest rates are trying their best to, move back up. You can see maybe it'll move up to the 118 area, something like that. And that's what governs, we've talked about this. That's what exactly governs the pairs trades. It's the fundamentals of interest rates and inflation and growth and all the magic like that. That's how it works, and that's the fundamentals. So you can see there, 4 days. Oh, hold on a second. Yo, Joe.
Please, Murray, I don't feel enough is happening. It's just not happening. Nothing's happening.
All right, I hear you, Joe. I'm on the webinar right now. If you want to listen, just listen to the webinar and just hang back with the phone on the line, okay?
I texted the officer. I feel something mad about the Little Caesars. There's nothing I can do.
I wouldn't text her. I don't know why you texted her to begin with. Makes no sense. Why? Because it's not relevant at the moment. You could have waited 3 hours. It's not gonna make it positive or negative. What they say has nothing to do. Let me just listen to me talk as I do the webinar. All right?
All right.
Okay. Oh, whatever. All right. Poor Joe. All right. So, I try to give guidance to some people. All right. So that's where we are at the moment. What's interesting is this is a 50 bar moving line. That's what the bond vigilantes pay attention to, a 50. Whereas the stock managers, they follow the 200-day moving average. And so you can see here it's just bouncing along. It's, it played against it. And when we go and look even further back, you can see how it, it hit it and then fell, right up in there. That's the 50 bar moving average. And, it's just part of the process, basically. So bond, to me, look like they could try to go after this 118, which will make the dollar go down and make the pairs trades go up in value, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, righty. From there, we go over to the euro. Let's see what the euro is doing this morning. And there's the euro. As you can see, it's banging along one of these Fibonacci lines that we've been following for years and months and days and whatever. It's been around for a while. And you can see here it's just bang. What is it? Let's see if we can go to the original. What made us? I think what we did is is that the all-time low of last year? That's what it is. There's the all-time low, and what we did is we Fibonacci'd. Trying to think what we Fibonacci'd. So there's the 50 percentile, and we've watched how it's played that, and now we're at the basically in the the reverse direction, heading towards the zero, which was I guess that's one of the major highs. Let's take a look and see. It must be a major high from a while ago. That 112 area, and so we Fibonacci'd that, and we've been watching that for over a year now. And it's been a very interesting adventure. And I'm sure that, we put it up over on J4X. Let's take the euro and put it up there. I'd imagine we'll see that peak. It was like the last big high. I'll just make it the whole page. And the 112. There's the 112 right there. That's back in July of this summer. And then we must have aligned it with another one. There's 116. That's back in 2021. And I think it was this plateau in here that we're watching. This plateau here we've been watching, and that's where we aligned the Fibonacci sequence with it, with a peak here. So they aligned with each other. So we took the all-time low here and Fibonacci'd it basically right in here and watched the move as we went into a buy. Let's do this too. Let's go back to two screens or two charts. We'll widen that out, and then what happened was as we made all-time lows, and let's put it up on here on the euro, as we made all-time lows, let's go over and scroll to it. There we are. We started to move into the buy, and when we moved into the weekly buy there, after making the all-time low right there, which was about a week later, then we took that plateau that we talked about. Let's move it over to that plateau again. And it was a 112-ish plateau, I guess that's what it is. It was right in there. That peak. Now that's the July of this year. And then when we go further out in 23, the 12 had a strong effect. It went, I think it went months, as we saw. Let's just make that bigger again. Yeah, right there. There's that plateau right there. That's the plateau we're talking about. Let's see, where's it at? Right. Okay, so it's right here. This is the plateau right here. And so we watched that, and that's how we Fibonacci'd it after going into the weekly buy, just a week after breaking into all-time lows with the euro. And you can see now. Let's go back to the single chart, the two charts again, and let's move this over. As you can see, we ran up to the 11. It stalled. It supported itself on this 0.23. Is that a 2? Yeah, 0.23. And we keep on seeing it play with it. You see how it plays with it there, plays there. It creates the head and shoulders, plays back down again, and you can see it goes to the 50 percentile. I thought it went to the 50 percentile. Let's see if we can scrunch this up. Yeah, there's the 50 percentile. Where are you? There it is. There's the 50 percentile. It didn't bang it. It did not bang it. That's the thing. Once it broke through that right there in the 50 percentile, let's see if we can do this. Like that. There we are. Once it broke and started playing with that 50 percentile, we thought, okay, that must mean that's support, and it kept on climbing. We were in that weekly buy all the way up to here, and then it corrected a little bit. It didn't challenge the 50 percentile. We lifted up again. Our math gave us insight to knowing that it was lifting again, and it did. Same thing when it finally went into the sell here. We were thinking, okay, let's see if it goes after the 50 percentile. It failed at it. Didn't even get close. It ended up doing the 0.38, and then lifted up and went to that plateau right there. Played down again. Almost touched the 50 percentile, but it refused to even do that. You can see it. It skipped it. It's well below it. I mean, it's above it, and now we're bouncing again. And we're seeing this take out this, and we're thinking, if we as we see now, oh, you're back, excellent. If we see the euro, I'm sorry, not the euro, the 30-year bond go after the 118, then we may see this thing go take out the 112 on the upside on the euro. So that's where our heads are at on it. Matter of fact, we might even make that the might be the title of it today. We were looking at the metals complex, and and when we get there, once we get past the great discovery or the great experiment, once we get past the great experiment pairs trade, then we'll talk about that. But at this point, this could be the real title for the day on this particular thing, and we will keep an eye on that, because I kind of do believe that as long as we're playing with that weekly sell in the beta, I think we have to be very cautious about the metals complex. In other words, they're spiking it right now, which is nice, and it looks like it's developing what I call a top. So, all right, from the euro, we will slide over from the euro to the cable. Let's get the cable up on the screen here. Nope, not that. That's an cable Aussie. We want cable dollar. There it is. Cable Aussie, cable dollar, cable. Indeed. All right. So there is the cable. You can see the cable up for the day, showing strength. Let's put it over here. Oh, and you know what we didn't do? We didn't look at it, the euro on the beta. Let's go quickly look at that too at the same time. Where's that at? And we'll switch over. Let's see, which mouse is it? This mouse. So we'll go back to here, and let's put the euro. Now we're looking at the euro future at this point. There we are. 6EF right there. And you can see now that's interesting. It's playing with the sell just like we're seeing right here, which is curious. It's doing that same thing. We'll widen that out. You can see that. You can see our math is trying to turn down a little bit there, but we're in a weekly buy, so we're not exactly worried about this. When that thing's in a weekly buy, we just don't take it that serious. I mean, we pay attention to it, and if we had a position on, maybe we'd neutralize. That's about it. There we are. There we go. All right, so now, and let me just put it up on further up. You can see here too, the same thing. We're pushing down. This is pushing down. Here. Oh, you can't see that again. Let's do this. There it is. So you see this is trying to lift up, but it has a red dot, and at the same time, we are underneath. It's putting that pressure on it, and only because of the 4 weeks in a weekly buy, we're not that concerned by it. So from there, we go over to the cable, and Maybe I'll make it the whole screen there like that so we can get to the beginning of it again. There it is. There's cable. Cable's looking very firm. You see there, looking very firm. 4 full days in. The fast is trading at 73. The slow is trading at 76. So it's a battle. You know, they're still trying to get into that buy again. Over here, we'll look at the cable future. 6B. 6B. Yep. 6B. Where are you, 6B? Come on. Go back to home. What is that all about? Okay, 6B. There's 6C. That's a Canadian. And 6L. That's the Brazilian, which is really neat. We can get the Brazilian real in this thing. All right. So that didn't work. Where is it at? 6B. We had it yesterday. If we had it yesterday, we'll have it again today. There it is right there, 6B. Now, it's doing the same thing. It's putting that pressure on it. Let's put it over here. Same situation going on the old platform. You know, I mean, it's up for the day, but it's pressing down. But we're in that weekly buy, so we're not concerned about it at the moment. And you can see it even on J4X. It's showing that weakness. But we're green, so it's a neutral situation. Totally neutral. Neutral long, though. Neutral up. That's the way we're looking at it. We go back to that. You can see there, 4 weeks in a buy there. All right. From the cable, we will go over to the Swiss. We're going to go to the Swiss. Right there. Swiss has been moving down for 4 days too. And you can see the fast stochastics at 12.4 and the slows at 15, so that pressure is still on that. And then when we look at it over here, let's put it up on the screen there. And there's the Swiss. You see that same situation. And what's interesting is how it's trying to lift there. And, it's holding well in the weekly sell. And it's still minus. You can see it's minus 0.00048. So it's still in the minus. So we're not, like I said, we're not really that concerned about the bounce that we're getting out of it, because we can see that the pressure is still on the downside. And as we said, and we will look at it after we get done with the great experiment, that 118 is a powerful, could be the next stop for the bonds. Now, it is hard for the bond market to really rally any more than it already has, but because of the action they've already had, it wouldn't surprise me if back months start to get bought more and more. In other words, money says, hey, 4.5%, I can lock that in. I'll lock it in. And there's a lot of people that are, upset. They've had over a decade where they got no return on their bonds, or the bond interest was so low that it was almost meaningless. And now at 4.5% and 5%, it makes it awful hard to walk away from that, where money will start to peel into that. And at the same time, we're going to see where money managers, or let's say the stock funds themselves, could be very strong. I mean, some companies, are speculating that they're only going to see like a 6 or 7% return on the S&P, and they're thinking, well, buy bonds at 4.5 or 5, you're guaranteed. It will be a very wild, volatile year because of the election, and that's why a lot of people are starting to park themselves in more conservative positions. And that's how that plays out. Let's see. 30-year bond. I think I'm just going to leave it at like that, and then I can put the rest in later on. This way I'll remember what I was thinking about. All right, so there is the Swiss. Let's take a look at, where's it at? Let's go to the yen right there. And here's the dollar yen trading in the 149 area. Not bad. They seem to be recuperating, I guess you could say. It does seem like it's starting to look at that. That was one heck of a move there. Just when we thought it was lifting up, it was in a sell for 3 days, and now they've slammed it again to 149. And look at that, the weekly is screaming. I wonder what we're seeing on the bond, the futures contract. We're going to take a look at it on the beta, and take a look at and it's an inverse, it's a mirror image. The bond, blah blah. What is it? The future, the yen futures contract in Chicago is a mirror image. So there you go. The weekly is leaping up, as you can see right now. It's leaping up. That's doing the same thing as the spot is leaping down. So that tells us, that pressure is on it. It's been 4 days in a buy, and we've been 4 days in a sell. Remember, the yen future is a mirror image. It's the reverse. So it's yen dollar, not dollar yen. Whereas you're looking at the spot as dollar yen. So that's why we always say we look at the markets technically Eurocentrically. That's why I always say Eurocentrically. In other words, we look as if we're looking from Japan, or we're looking from Frankfurt, or we're looking from London. In other words, we look at it like we're not in the United States. And that's why our same situation goes on with the Canadian against the dollar and the Swiss against the dollar. They do the reverse in the futures contract. So the Swiss, it's Swiss dollar pairs trade, and it's Canadian dollar pairs trade, and it's yen dollar, not the other way around in the spot where it's the dollar yen. So the math gets reversed. It becomes a mirror image. It's like that crazy stuff with interest rates. It drives people crazy. Price goes down, interest rates go up. Price goes up, interest rates go down. Really, really makes everybody like, oh no, I'm crazy. All right, there's the yen, and from the yen, we are headed to, where are we going for? We're going for the Great Experiment. Let's go see what the Great Experiment looks like this morning. And that is the Euro Turkish Lira. And you just have to watch our video. Oh, look at it. The high yesterday was 321. Let's put it up over here. It's been closing at all-time highs on a closing basis. And so, matter of fact, right now, that if it settled there today, that would be an all-time high. Now, yesterday, did it close at an all-time high yesterday? Let's see. 31.13 versus 31.08. 08? No, 11. I'm sorry, 11. And now it's trading at 20. And so this is on a closing basis at the moment. It's an all-time high. Now, you can see here, we are pressing into the sell. It's doing that same thing. The daily is trying to press into the sell, but the weekly is not really caring. So it's just background noise. We're not worried about the noise or the bounce. And that's how it works. As I take a sip of my coffee ole. And that is the whole process. The process of, the way the Turkish lira plays. Why do we call it the Great Experiment? As we've said so many times here, it is. You're talking about. What is it? It's. It was trading at 1 and 1.5 and 2. It was trading very lightly, and now it's trading at 31. So it makes it really, really, just wild when we see that type of action. And that's what what really excites us, in that sense. Is that let's see if we can do this. There we go. So, with that's why it's the Great Experiment. It's fascinating to see. I mean, it's not good for the people in Turkey. I don't think. If your currency went from 1 to 30, it has to hurt. But this is their economic policy. This is what they think can bring investors in, grow the country by devaluing their currency. All right, from there we slide over to the South African rand, the top brick in the world. Right there. ZAR. You see it's trying to bounce up a little bit. We'll put it up over here. See what it looks like there. And it closed up yesterday, and it's trying to get through the buy today. You can see that pressure on it there. And it's in that weekly sell. So it's still, that's positive that it's in the weekly sell for the metals complex. That's very positive. So let's do that. Let's go over to gold now. We'll take a look at gold. And it's been playing with the weekly, so I'm very concerned. I really think that this could be a top in the gold complex. And you can see our weekly is still up. You can see we're 3 days in a buy there, and it's been climbing. Now we'll see if it bangs against this. This is Friday, so we're there. So looks like this is going to be closing in the weekly sell. We'll see how Monday and Tuesday go, and if this starts to go back into a buy, then we don't think it's a top. But if it stays in the weekly sell, we believe this is a top, and that's what we said yesterday. We think that that's doing it. Now, let's put it up on. Oh, you can't see that. Let's do this so you can see that now. Where's that mouse? I thought you could see that. Let's do that again. There it is, right there. So there it is. It's playing with that weekly sell. That's got me concerned. I'm thinking, it's and it's playing with the 2,000 again, or it's close to the 2,000 again. Let's see where it's at exactly. Right there. Yeah, it's trading at $1,991. And the high today is 96. And we think that this is trying to, and this has been that pattern. At first we thought it was a big base, and it's played itself out as a base. Now the question is, since it's gone into the daily buy right here, it has climbed, and it's in a weekly buy on this platform. But over on our beta, it's in a sell, and the beta has been ahead in all these products. So that's what's got us concerned. We're not comfortable with this strength that we're seeing in the gold. We're thinking it could be a top, and that's what we've been watching. And we'll know over the next couple of days, because this is the end of the week. Next week it'll be a new week, and we'll see if that beta goes into a second week in a sell. They're going to find, if we get into a daily sell, they're going to take the gold down. That's how it's going to play. But so far the base has been holding up on this platform, and it's going up in value. And over here it's in a daily buy, so you can't get short even with us going into the weekly sell. It tells us to just be neutral. So, don't be short it, but just don't be, lovingly long it. That's really what the story comes down to. All right, from there we'll take a look at silver, and there's silver. And silver's actually showing us even more strength, which is really nice. It's up at the $24 area. Woohoo! I mean, we've been stunned and wondering, when are we going to see, 26 again? We're really stunned how poorly silver has been moving compared to gold. Let's put the silver up on here. Let's save that too. And there is, let's just move it over like that, just easier to see. There we are. And so there is the silver now. Let's put silver up on the other screen. Oh, and let me just show you the weekly too. The weekly's been in a weekly buy for four weeks. So that is lifting, and that's obviously, something to take serious. We really think that the silver has been truly undervalued compared to the gold. And let's put it up on here. And there's the silver. Same situation, playing with that 24. 4 days in a buy. It's in a weekly buy for a third week. It's relatively high up. We go over to, we're going to leave the South African rand up there so you can see it's trying to lift, and you can see it's at 24.2 versus 22.2. The fast is trying to lift. All right, so there's pressure on that South African rand to start bottoming and move back up, and when that moves back up, metals go down. And we've been totally surprised by the action we've seen with the platinum. It's been sloppy and twisting, and it can't get a direction. It's really disruptive. So normally it leads the metals complex. Right now it's doing the opposite. And let's save this right there. Silverado right there. Okie dokies. Now from there we go over to copper, and there's copper, and that's 5 days in a buy and playing with that weekly buy. It looks like, it'll be no problem. It'll get into it. That's what it's trying to do, is get into that weekly buy. They had great news. There's no doubt about that. From Cheed, he came to America and everybody wanted to give him money. It's like, they're caught on this aphrodisiac of that they're going to grow like a normal capitalist country, which they're not. That's what's so weird about it. What their malfunction is, I don't understand, but we've got a lot of strange people managing money who think investing in communist countries can be a winner chicken dinner this time. I say not at all. Solely because we've seen what's happened in history. None of these communist countries are good, profitable places in the end. They end up taking your property, and look how the Chinese couldn't even take care of a $15 million interest payment on an $11 billion investment. So they just have some blind spot in their head over it all. All right, so from there we go over to the last part, and that is the platinum. And there it is right there. And platinum is lifted up again, and it's going to go into the weekly buy again. Let's see how long that lasts. That'll be interesting. One thing's for sure is if we start to get a weekly buy in the platinum, and gold turns into the buy, next week, starts playing the weekly buy, well then we know that we're going to be we will stop thinking that we're seeing a top, and we'll start thinking that we're seeing a real, that base that we identified is going to hold up. It's going to keep that strength. And let's see the platinum right there. There's platinum. And the weekly is in a second week of a buy there. Let's show you that. Where's that mouse? Oh, mouse. There it is. And there it is right there. Second week in a weekly buy in the platinum, and 4 days in a buy. Looking good. Not really challenging. It's just playing with the 900 area, 912, and we'll see if we really start to see some real strength again. I don't know. It's the end of the year. You get all kinds of strange currents. In other words, what we call sizing up and settling up. What they try to do is they try to settle the things that they owe money on by the end of the year. This way they can start fresh in January. So that's what we're seeing now is they size up their debt, and then they settle it. And a lot of times we'll see like swaps and so forth from the Federal Reserve to help some countries and some central banks to have enough capital to do it. That type of thing. They'll lend them the money for 90 days. And then the debt goes on, and they pay it off. And then with the swap, and the next thing you know is they owe the money again in January. So it's like they carry it. They're basically carrying it. It's like a carriage trade. They're really carrying the debt, and they try to size it out flat for the year so that they have a statistical number for gain or loss. I sip of the coffee again. And what happens basically is that people go, wow, what is that? The stuff in the weeds, what I don't understand what you're talking about. And what we're talking about is there are companies and central banks that borrowed money. And since we're coming down to the end of the year, what they want to do is they want to close it out. So they do a swap with the Federal Reserve. In other words, they borrow money from the Federal Reserve to take care of where they owe that debt. And then they pay it off. And then they consider it like flat. And they got like a new swap. They have a swap on instead. It's a position trade. And then what happens is that they don't look at that P&L the same way they look at the overall year. The overall year. So then what happens is that at the end of the year, when it's all done and over with, and you've seen where the Fed has done a swap with them, they do a repo again. of it and repossess it again. And so then the central bank is in debt again on the normal books, not the trading account. And they call that settling up for the year. And then everybody's like, oh, okay, now we know how much debt we have, and that's what we did, and now we have it again, and we have 11 months to pay it off again. And I think some would call it taking money from Peter to pay Paul, or taking money out of your left pocket and putting it in your right pocket. I think that's what it really comes down to. All right. Did we save this one? I think we did. Let's save it again just to double check. Alrighty. So from there, we dance our way over to, where do we dance our way over to? We go to the energy sector. That's what we do. So we go over and look at the South African rand and say, "See you on Monday, South African rand," as it's trying to lift up, and as the algorithm is saying it right there at the same time. It's at 24. Not the algorithm, the stochastic is at 24 even, 24.1, and the slow is at 22.5, almost 22.6. So, and you can see that strength is coming in there. You got a green hinky, so there's strength trying to reach into that South African rand. Okay, now from there we go over to Canadian dollar, which we compare to the energy sector. And as you can see, as this has been rising, even with the ups and downs, and rising from that low of 131 or 139, 130.9 or common 9, we expect the energy sector to be going down in value, and we've shown you that. So let's put that over here. We're going to put Brent up on the screen. Let's go Brent. Let's go Brent. Let's go Brent. There's heating oil. There's Brent right there. And Brent was moving down, and now they're moving it up, but they're still 3 days in a sell, and we've been 10 weeks in a sell. And then when we go over here, we look at let's go to right there. There's, it's been moving down. That's why we see the currency moving up. And at the same time, we see a little bounce going on today, 3 days in a sell. And we see this has been something like 8 out of 9 weeks in a weekly sell. That's what that is. Let's save that one now. Deck oil. Deck the oil to you too. Deck the oil to you. Deck the oil to you. Right there. There's the oil. So we've saved all those now. That's cool. All right. From there, we go over to, we've seen Brent on our beta. So now what we'll do is we'll go take a look at, and what we've done is, you can see here, that's the front month trading at 73.83. And that's December. And the February contract trading at 74.09. So all of a sudden, we're seeing for the first time in a while, the front month is lower. It's at contango. So you got December trading at 73.83 at 17 cents. It's 21 cents discount to the Feb contract. So right now there's not a lot of demand. It's even more than that. So 83.17 and 10.27 cents. So we're seeing the back month is lifting. Curious and interesting, indeed. All right. And then we leave the Canadian up just to emphasize the fact that it's rising, and the energy sector is going down in value. That's what it is. And so then we go over to here. We go to natural gas, NG, December gas. You can see December gas is 2 days in a sell. This is the second day, and it's 2 full weeks in a sell. And so that pressure is on the natural gas to go sideways or down, which is fascinating. And so I guess we're getting warmer weather, and people are using, the product less. I guess that's what it is. There we are. Now, what else can we say about any of these? Well, that's the natural gas. And so from there, what we'll do is we'll slide over to the Spanish energy company right there. And we'll put it up on our beta. It was trading at 27 yesterday. And today it's trading at, oh, woo, look at that. They spiked it at one point. Let's put it up over on J4X too at the same time, since it's the last energy we're looking at. And let's see the stock, how it's trading in Europa right there. And we widen it out, and it shows that the high is at 27.06. Over here on our beta, where are we at on that? Even looks even higher. That's showing us, let's just see what that is. So that was a wild move there, and then now it's trading at 26.94. Not much than where we were yesterday. And you can see there is 98s are offered with 92s bid for it, 93 bid for it, 98. And so you can see that pressure on it. And you can see here we're in a weekly buy. So they're not letting go of the energy company. And when they don't let go of that, usually the product finds a way to go up in value, not down. And this is the only real way we can see on a chart level, because they don't really let us see much more than that. When it comes to that, there's no real clean and clear opportunity to be able to see. Wow. All right. Let's see. What else can we say about any of these things? I guess what it really comes down to is that the energy sector, the short term, they're pushing it out. They don't need it. So I mean, the back months are higher. So that's a little exciting right there. Okay. And you can see right there the S&P 500 trading at 38. We can go into the intraday and give you a view of that too at the same time right here. You can see here that's it's been a while since we were at the 538 area, and it doesn't seem to be letting go whatsoever. It's inching along. It's been in a strong buy now for it went into the sell. Actually, was it 706, and we're at 713 now. So okay, so 6 minutes ago did they make it into that sell there? I don't think it is. The plot 1 was 000. The plot 4 was 000, and it was only the plot 6 which was a minus. So it didn't. It's been in a buy since right here. Yep, they're not changing course here. They're just moving up, slow and steady. All right, let's put it back to normal. And when looking at it on a longer term basis intraday, we've been in a buy there since 1 o'clock yesterday. 1:37 to be exact, Eastern Standard Time. We've been in a buy since here. Remember, we don't pay attention to the dots. We can probably turn those dots off, but we don't pay attention to the dots on this intraday action. We just follow this stuff right here, and so you can see the strength there. That was in the where was that? That was the settlement of 4,513. Right now we're trading at 4,537. So that's almost a 25 point move since yesterday on the upside, which is pretty good. 25 handles. That's a very powerful, very steady move. And same thing on our longer term intraday. That shows to go into the buy also at 146 yesterday. So this is going to be very interesting to see this action. And then, let's just put it all back together again like so. And that's the action in the S&P 500. Now let's take a look at the daily of it. There's the daily holding up. And it's a 5th day in a daily buy, and it's the 3rd week in a daily buy. And then, oh, you can't see that. And you didn't see any of that stuff I showed you. Oh, let me just go back and do that real quick. Right there. So there is the intraday, it's been in the buy since right here, and that's only a 2,000 tick bar. Then the 18,000 tick bar has been in a buy since yesterday afternoon at 137.45 to be exact. 1:37 p.m. after lunch. And so we're seeing the strength there. We're seeing the same thing right here. It's been in the buy right there since 1:46. Yeah, 1:46. So there we are. And so that's the intraday, and it's been very strong and very healthy, and it's not much you can say about it in a negative way. It's been very positive. So we go over again to the daily now. Let's go to the daily now. Now, brown cow. And there's the daily, and you can see there trading at 4,538. It's like 25 points over where it started yesterday afternoon, and we've been in a buy that long on an intraday basis. And you can see on a daily basis, we've been in a buy for 5 full days and 3 full weeks. So we shift over to the beta and see what's going on with the beta. And there's the beta right there. And you can see it's been in a buy for 6 days, a day ahead of it. And at the same time, it is the 4th week that it's in a weekly buy. That's why we take this beta very serious. It's leading. And so when we talk about the gold, we're waiting to see. And that's what we have our eyes on. The gold and that weekly sell, it looks like it's going to put itself into. Now from there, where do we go from there? We zip over to the rest of the stock indices, and then we're going to get out of here. That's how we're going to play this. So there is the Tech 100. There's the Tech 100 right there. Same situation. It's flirted with sells. It's trying to do it again today. We're kind of like on the edge. As you can see right there, it's pressing down. Let's just double check. Let's see if we can straighten out the data feed, make sure it's okay. Go like that. Yep, so it's doing the same thing. It's trying to penetrate that daily sell there, even with it up higher than it was yesterday. And at the same time, we're in a 3rd week of a daily. Oh, you can't see this. Let's get over there again. Let's not mess it up again. So there it is right there. It's playing with a daily sell, and it's in a weekly buy, and it's just noise as far as we're concerned. And then let's see if we can find it right there. There it is on our beta. I'll put the beta up on the screen. And there's the beta. You can see same situation. 4 weeks. In this case here, it's 4 weeks in a weekly buy, whereas on the old platform, it's 3 weeks in a weekly buy. And at the same time, on the daily basis, we've never gone into the sell. So we've been in a daily buy now from down in here. So that's 3, that's 6, that's 9, that's 12, and 12 and 2 is 14 days. 14 days in a daily buy. Wow. For 14 days. All right, from there, we drift over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the grand lady of them all. And you can see that right there. Same situation. We have 6 full days in daily buy. We have 4 weeks in a weekly buy. And then we go over to, let's show it to you on the old platform. Right there. There it is right there. You see 3 weeks and 5 days compared to 6 days on the beta. Then from there, we go over to the Russell 2000. And there it is right there. It's trying to get into a sell, but it is higher today than yesterday, and it looks like with no problem it's going to close in a weekly buy. That's what it looks like to me right there. and it came in obviously in that weekly sell, and it has held on very nicely. Let's save that. There we are. And then let's take, avalanche. And so let's take a look at that on the beta platform. I think it's 2 weeks in a weekly buy on the beta platform. Hence, that's why when I talk about that gold, it really disturbs me. Let's see, RTY. RTY. There it is, RTY. Yeah, see, this is the second week in a buy. So this thing picked it up. So it picked it up it went into the buy down in here last week. And you can see we've been in a daily buy just for 3 days. And look at that. We're playing with the sell just like we oh, you can't see that either. See right there. So we're looking at this. It's been in a weekly buy for 2 weeks. So this whole move has been, it's been saying, hey, this is great. Let's be long or you be wrong. Let's be long or you be wrong. That's what it's saying, basically. All right. So that leaves us from the, and this is the Russell 2000, which is the weakest of all the stock indices. Let's jump over to Bitcoin. See how the cryptos have been a surprise. They led this whole market up. This whole market. This thing, there's crypto. And you can see there, it's been in a weekly buy 10 weeks. And the daily has gone in and out. It was in a lot of buy for a long while. When it went into that weekly buy, it was in there for a long while for that great move from the 27,000, like the 27,000 area, or 26.8, something like that. And it ran all the way to the 35,000. Okay. Then it kind of hesitated, went into a sell for a couple of days right there, and then right back into that buy again. And then it just gave a correction right here for a day and back into the buy again to get up into the 38,000. It's been very impressive. And then it rolled over on Monday right there, and it fell down, and it popped up and it fell down. It's been real sloppy in there. It's been a little challenging, but overall it's been a wonderful move. So it's no complaints there. All right, traders, that's pretty much it for the week, it looks like to me. We've looked at all the stock indices. We've looked at the cryptos. Oh, and I think I'm looking at Ethereum now too. Let me see. I think I put it up on there. Let's just take a look at Ethereum right there, because I saw some headlines about it possibly being one of the better. Now that's been in a weekly buy for 6 full weeks. And you can see on the daily, in that 6 week period, it had a nice run from the 1800 area all the way out to, let's see, that's 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way out to the 2000, like 75 number, right around there. And then it went into the sell, and you can see that right there for 3 days, and it fell down. And then it went into the buy there, and now we've been in the sell for 2 days. So the pressure is on that product, Ethereum. But, it's been a great trading tool also. All right, traders, that is Doc from North America saying everybody have a safe and smart weekend. And we will catch you all on the flip side, traders. We will see you on Monday, TGIM. That's right, TGIM. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, laters, have a safe and smart weekend, traders. We will talk to you tomorrow, Monday. Monday. That's what we'll do. Monday. All right. Ta-ta for now.